we empty our heads of thoughts of technology, have faith that it will be fine, and come to find a seated position. So that seated position for you could be on the floor with your legs crossed. Please, if you're sitting on the floor with your legs crossed, do sit on some height. That's going to facilitate the opening of those very important major hip joints in the body. And if you're somebody who prefers sitting in the chair, by all means, come to sit in the chair, sitting back in the support of the chair. And we'll take a few moments here in stillness. Finding your physical stillness first, working from our outer layer initially, the physical body, quietening any needs to fidget or stretch or adjust, and then turning your attention inward to your breathing. If your mind has left the present moment and wandered off to what you were doing earlier this morning or something you have to do later today, or any concerns or worries you have, that's okay. That's what the mind does. You're just gently returning your attention to rest on the breath. A few more moments. Please draw your hands now together at your heart center. Gently press your palms together. Slide the thumbs a little bit upward. And into this space, let's join our voices in 3 ohms together. I hope you'll join me, even though we can't hear each other. Breathing in. And on the exhalation, Om. Inhaling and exhaling. Please replace your hands to your lap. I think I'm going to have to see if I can mute. I heard someone's oming, which was lovely, but.
Kamla needs to mute herself.
Okay, I unmuted myself. Somehow that ended up muting me. Maybe Katie hasn't given me host privileges. Katie, if you're there, I need host privileges. So please come to stay in your chair or stay seated on the ground. And again, let's get technology out of our heads if we can. And we're going to begin by joining breath and movement, as always, bringing hands together to the heart center. Make sure your knees are directly over your ankles. If you're in the chair, of course, if you're on the ground, you can sit in your cross-leg position. And we're just going to take a nice full inhalation and a complete exhalation. Inhaling, let's join with movement. Inhaling to lift, exhaling to release. adding a little lift of the heels. This won't be happening, of course, if you're cross-legged on the ground. Just continue with the arm flow. You're in the chair, lifting, getting a little activity in the ankle joints, warming up there. Even your toes are getting some action. Oh, one or two more flows with your breath. Might be slower than mine. And the next time you do release your arms down alongside your body, take hold of your strap. So you're going to take hold of the strap and hold it at about shoulder distance. And you're going to press outward very strongly on the strap. Pull the two sides of the strap apart. And from that position, inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Keep pulling the two sides of the strap apart. Exhaling, release down. Inhaling, lift up. Exhaling, release down. And do it 2 or 3 more times on your own without my voice. At the flow and pace of your own breath. And releasing at the base. Here's an opportunity for those of you who do have blocks, don't worry if you don't have one, to place that block right in between your thighs and squeeze the block. Now go a little bit wider, everyone, on the strap. Lift the strap up and come into a side tilt. Inhale, back up. Squeeze the block if you're using it. Side tilt, second side. Inhaling is always center. And one more time to each side. Release, bring that strap back down. Put the strap aside. We'll do one more thing from seated, either on the floor or in the chair before we come to stand behind you. We'll just work our little back bending cat-cows. So you're lifting your sternum up towards the sky. You're feeling more length from the top of your sternum to your pubic bone. And then you're just coming back to neutral, engaging the abdominals quite solidly. And lengthen the front body, arc the spine, come on back to neutral. Some of you, without the back conditions that I always talk about, are possibly coming into a more rounded position, not for people with disc injuries or osteoporosis. There's a way to approach this flow for everyone safely, either coming to neutral or rounding. And coming back to an upright position all, we will come to stand. So you're in the chair, you're working your feet back towards the rungs of the chair, you're hinging forward. Inhaling, exhaling, use your arms, sweep yourself up, and release the arms down. If you're on the floor, any way you can comfortably come to stand. And let's find mountain pose. Standing tall. You may or may not use your chair as we move into a flow in a moment. But finding mountain pose first, the beginning of all standing poses. Feet are hips distance, arms are long without being rigid. Legs are strong And there's that balance between effort and ease. Effort, strengthen the legs, ease with the breath. And releasing from your mountain pose. If you're using the chair, you can turn to face it. You may not need it. You may not want to bother. We will possibly be using the strap, so have it within reach. We'll move in and out of some little sun salutes, little half sun salutes, to begin to warm up the body a bit. So stand facing the short end of your mat, with or without the chair. Inhaling, lift. Exhaling, find your chair pose, sitting back. And lengthen your spine, lengthen your legs. Sit back in your chair again. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. You'll either repeat at that height, or some of you may choose to go a little bit more deeply. Here's the chair pose for everyone. Maybe your forward fold takes you here, or for some of you here. Come on back to chair pose. Return to an upright overhead position. Exhaling, hands to the heart. And we're going to do that one more time. This time is when you may choose to take hold of your strap. I'll demonstrate first so you can judge. So here we are in chair. Here we are finding our length. I'll go about halfway. Some of you will be interlacing behind your back. That's not a happy place for you. You use your strap. You can bring it back behind you, shoulder distance or even wider, and we'll do some lifting and lowering. So you know probably well enough in your own body whether you need the strap or not. Inhaling, lift. Exhaling, chair pose. Here's the little forward fold, long spine, not straight. You can see there's some curves there. Bring your hands back behind you, interlace, or use the strap, and lift those arms, maybe just an inch away from your hips. Maybe you have a little bit more mobility. Just explore. Your legs can be straight, or you can have a little bend there. Really warming up the shoulder joints. Maybe some of you have chosen to go into the deeper forward fold. Maybe some of you are staying a little more upright. And let's all bend deeply, release the strap or the interlace. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Samastiti, a little variation on mountain pose, hands remain at the heart center. We're going to do that one more time. Inhaling, lift. Exhaling, here's chair pose. Sitting back and lengthening to your length, wherever that is. Taking hold of your strap if you're using it. If you're interlacing, do the uncustomary interlace, and everyone lifting strap or hands up away from hips. Maybe there's just a little bit more range of motion after these long holds. You can experiment with that, see if there's more lift available. And everyone releasing, bending the knees. Inhale, come on back up. Exhaling, hands to the heart center. And release. We're going to move into some warrior two work. You may, at some point, want to have the seat of the chair or the back of the chair available, or maybe you're somebody who likes to just do your flows coming to the floor. Please stand with your left foot forward, your right heel kicks back a little bit, and your hips are facing the long side of the mat. And we'll move in and out of warrior two very gradually, beginning inhaling, nice simple lift of the arms, exhaling, bend the knee, inhaling, exhaling, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, changing it up right into warrior two, and lengthen arms and legs, leg, bend. You can turn your head as well, and lengthen, bend, lengthen, and let's hold warrior two here. Knee directly over second and third toes, so it's not, I'll turn the other way. So you want that knee directly forward, not winging in or out. Check that out. You should be able to see your big toe. Breathe. And lengthen, release the arms down. We're going to now cartwheel that top arm overhead and down to face the chair. Both hands are on the chair. You're stepping back by turning the back heel up and finding your chair version of downward dog. This is where some of you may be on the floor. Depending on you, some of you may be on the back of the chair. Bend the knees, bring that left foot forward again, turn the back heel down, cartwheel that arm up. Oh, that's a nice movement. Find warrior two, and straighten the leg, release the arms. Let's take that whole series to the other side. You can simply switch so that your right foot is forward and your left heel is kicking back a little bit. Hips are more or less facing towards the long end of the mat. They might have a little turn in them. Bend, let's lift the arms first, inhaling. Exhaling, bend the forward knee. Inhale, exhale. Let's do that again. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And now that second variation right into warrior two. Lifting arms, straighten legs. There's resistance as you open the arms out in a half circle, gaze towards your forward fingertips and lift up. Resistance as if you're moving through water. And this last time will be a hold in warrior two. Gazing out over the right fingertips. If you choose to work that way, you can also have your head in a more neutral position. And release from your warrior two. We're going to take this into the flow. So bending the knee again, cartwheeling that arm up overhead. Now both hands are on the chair. Turn the back heel up and step back for your dog. Take a few breaths here. I'm going to take a look. See if I can see anyone. And soften your knees. Step the opposite foot forward, whichever one feels less customary. And come to stand, mountain pose. And we're going to take it into a somewhat fuller flow, combining the two pieces that we worked on. Bring your hands together at your heart center. Inhale, lift. Exhale, here's chair pose. Inhale, lengthen any depth or height. And bend the knees. Let's step the left foot back. Find warrior two. Cartwheel that top. Turn the back heel up. Step back. Dog pose. Step the same foot forward. Back heel comes down. Here we are in warrior two. Straighten the leg. Bend the knee. How about with the arms again this time? Lengthening. And opening. Bring the top arm to cartwheel. Step the back foot forward. Chair pose. Inhale, lift. Hands to the heart. Second side. So make sure it's your second side. We started with hands at the heart center facing the chair. Set yourself up, find your mountain pose. Inhaling, lift. Exhale, chair pose. Here's your length. Placing hands on the chair for a little stability, bending the knee, stepping the foot back, cartwheel it up into warrior two. And cartwheel back, turn that back heel up, step back, dog pose. Step the same foot forward, turn the back heel down. Here we are in warrior two. And let's lengthen and bend. Lengthen and bend. Last time, cartwheeling that arm. Step yourself forward. Chair pose. You're sitting back. Let's take a little pause here in chair pose. You can either have your hands on the chair for stability or hands at the heart this time. Brief pause. Are your shoulders starting to round forward? Can you draw them back? Just like when we had that strap up behind us. Shoulders down and back. And inhale. Exhale, release. Mountain pose again. Few breaths in mountain pose. And we'll take a balance. So I invite you to come to stand right behind your chair. If you're using a chair or some kind of piece of furniture, you might need it for stability, maybe not. I'll put mine aside so you can see what we're going to do. I'll just demonstrate quickly. So you're going to shift your weight a little bit over to the inside leg. And that outside leg is going to lift up as you reach to the other side. Woo. And bring the foot down. We'll do that a few times. And then see how it might be for you to not land that foot when you come back to upright, but to keep it hovering a little bit off the floor. Okay, so let's all do that together. Set yourself, and you can see why you might need the chair for a little balance. support. Standing up tall. Let's all shift our weight onto the right leg, just a little bit. And extend the arm out to the side as you lift the leg to the other side. Return to the upright position, foot on the earth. You can continue absolutely to work that way, bringing the foot back down to the earth, or experiment with not actually putting the foot down. And it can be, oops, maybe you have to reach down at some point and rest or take a hold of some support. That's how the body learns. One more time, or maybe you've already decided it's time to come to rest. Do what your body asks for in this moment. Breathe, mountain pose. And we'll switch to the other side. So this time, shifting your weight just a little bit onto the left leg, so that other leg is kind of free. And let's reach the arm out, lift the leg to the side, set the foot down. Let's do it 2 times, setting the foot down. And if appropriate for you, maybe you'll experiment with just having that leg come on back to center without landing the foot. It's like you're reaching for something with that arm. I can really feel this in my standing leg. I'm wondering if you're feeling that as well. One more reach. And release. Oh, nice to come back to earth. Bend your knees. Sit back in your imaginary chair and you can swivel. Knees and hips, almost like doing a hula, and reverse. Coming back to upright. We are going to make our way down to hands and knees for those of you who are coming to hands and knees. And I'll just demonstrate quickly for people who want to remain standing. I know having your knees down is not always a happy place. So we're going to be doing cat-cow, which from standing would be arc your spine, round your spine. You can bend your knees as you do this. And after that, we'll do dog and come forward into up dog. So this will be your sequence if you're standing. Everyone else, come on down. And we'll do the sequence together, whether you're standing or kneeling. Knees padded, please, if you're coming to kneeling. And cat-cow, find table pose first. Gentle engagement in the abdominals without gripping. And inhaling, feel your sits bones lift. Go lengthen your front body again. And exhaling, just come to neutral. And inhaling, your chest moves a little bit closer to the floor. And gently come to neutral. Some of you on this next one may choose to round. Inhaling, lift sits bones, lift gaze. And maybe you're a person who can safely round. And inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling again. And exhaling. Finding neutral. We're going to move into a dog sequence, downward dog, so that could be fine. Done from standing. Bring your hands a little bit more forward if you're still kneeling. We're going to for downward dog. Take a look first at the sequence. I'll just do it once quickly. You're going to move into a bent knee dog. You're going to softly land your knees, bring your hips forward. Here's a little miniature version of a pose called up dog. And we'll bring the hips back, lift them up. Boom, boom. Okay, so everyone find your position, whether you're standing or kneeling. And inhale, connect to that breath. Exhale, lift the hips. Keep the knees bent. Exhale, release the knees gently. And come forward to your little mini up dog. Hips towards the floor. Come on back. And here's your downward dog. Anyone who wants to straighten their legs is welcome to do that. Knees down. Little upward facing dog. And last time will be our hold in each pose. So hold your dog for a few breaths. That could be with bent knees or straight legs. Straight legs are not recommended if this is what happens. You can see how I've come forward. We want the hips back and the spine long. Breathe. Replace the knees to the earth. A little bitty hold in up dog. A few moments there. And your gaze is slightly up. Chin can be lifted, Kamala, that's it. And coming back, knees down, stand up on your shins or stand up on your feet. I can't really tell if anyone is remaining standing rather than coming to hands and knees. Some of you are blocked. I'll ask you a question in a moment. Anyway, standing up nice and tall on your shins or on your feet. Place one hand on your sacrum, the other on the back of your skull. Feel that alignment. Back of skull and sacrum in one line. Not here, not here. Length. Release the arms. See if you can maintain that sense of alignment. And we're going to come down to our bellies. But I'd like to see if there is anyone, so I don't have to keep giving instructions for people who aren't coming to the floor. Is there anyone who's not coming to the floor? Anyone not coming to the floor?
I can't do down dog on the floor, but I can do everything else on the floor.
Okay, but how about belly down? Are you okay with that?
Fine, yeah.
Okay. Christine, Judy, Patricia, and Joel. Joel, I know you come down to your belly. Judy, Christine, Patricia, I'm just not sure. I'm going to be very brief with the standing instructions because I think most of us are coming to the floor. So we are going to come down to our bellies. Everybody who is coming down, please come down. And just very quickly, if you're not coming down, this is your Sphinx pose at the wall. And we will be lifting one leg and the other. Okay, so that's your Sphinx pose if you're still standing. Everyone else coming down.
Jean, this is Patricia, and I'm on the floor.
Okay, thank you, Patricia, for letting me know. So that's down to
okay.
2 people. Christine,
yeah, I got up to tell you.
This is Judy. I'm on the floor too.
So everybody's coming down, I believe. Okay,
Yes.
we're gonna I'm going to skip the standing language. So come on down to the floor. And we're going to take Sphinx pose, which I think most of you know. Good way to come down is hands and knees, and then you can lower yourself gradually or roll over onto your side and find your Sphinx pose. Tops of the feet down, pressing into the earth. Make sure you're not collapsing in the upper body. There's a sense of isometrically drawing your forearms back as you lengthen the front body. Be here for a few breaths. And relax. Come on down, place one forearm on top of the other, rest your head. Breathe. Let your legs relax a little bit here. Come on back to your Sphinx position. And we'll add on. So isometrically drawing forearms back, lifting your heart, bend one knee, flex the foot, sole of the foot towards the sky. And release. Inhaling, bend the other knee. Are you starting to collapse in the upper body? Reinvigorate that lift and that arc and release. Let's do it one more time on each side. Lifting, releasing, lifting, and releasing. Come to rest again, just for a breath or two, placing the opposite arm on top. Let your legs relax. Let your breath be full and very present. We're going to add on one sequence. So I'll do it quickly in case you can see well enough. Just as a demonstration, we're going to lift both legs. We're going to lift, arms will be alongside the body here. Lift both legs, bend the upper body, and then lengthen legs, lengthen arms, release. So it's arms alongside body, bend knees, lift upper body, lengthen and release. Let's all do that together. So arms alongside the body, bend the knees, soles up towards the sky. Lift your upper body from the chest. It's a little cobra action in the upper body. And lengthen the legs. Arms can be grounded down or lifted. And exhale, release. Let's do it 2 more times. Bend. Lift. Lengthen. Release. One more time. Bend knees. Lift upper body. Inhale, lengthen. Feel the length from your sternum to your toes. Exhale, release. Let's roll on over to our sides and come onto our backs. So take your time coming onto your back. Actually, if you would sort of pause halfway on your side so you can see what's coming. I'm not coming down to my back today. So this would be a good way for you to see where we're going next, which is into a twist. So what you do, you'll be lying on your back and you're going to shift your hips over to one side. You can keep your feet on the ground or lift them. So either way, those knees are dropping towards the earth. Arms will come out into a T position. Imagine I'm on my back. One hand can come to the outside of the thigh. And you can turn your head. And then we'll do that on the other side. And the last part of this, after we do the twists to both sides, will be a little flow, and that would look like knees up, legs long, arms can reach back or not. Come on back in and return the feet to the earth. I can guide you certainly through that with my words, even though I'm not actually coming down to the ground. So let's start by everyone. I think everyone's coming down. Let me know. Wait, I'll get to gallery view. Let me know if you're not coming down. Come on down to the earth, lying on your back, and bend your knees. And settle yourself in, feeling the balance on the two sides of the body. Feet are equally grounded. Backs of the hips, equal weight there on the two sides. And just shift your hips over towards the right a little bit. It's just a little lift and shift. Lift and shift. And then the knees are going to drop over to the opposite side. And you could do that by first lifting the feet up off the floor and letting the knees release towards the floor. Or the feet may stay on the ground. Arms in a T position. This should feel pleasant. It's a spinal twist. Very good for getting into some deep places in your body. Arms come out in a T position, Jennifer. We're just holding it. We're not going back and forth. Knees over to the side. You might want to put a blanket or some kind of support under the knees. Head can turn opposite if that feels pleasant for your neck. And in this stillness, it's a great time to come back to focusing on your breath. Everyone, bring your knees back up to upright, feet on the floor. Take a moment to even out your hips again. You might need to lift and find balance. And we'll prepare for our little twist on the other side. Just lift your hips a bit and shift them over. Just the hips are lifting here first. That's it, Patty. And shift your hips over to the other side. Let the knees now drop. I think for most of you, it will be to the right or maybe to the left, whichever is your second side. Arms come out in a T position. For those of you who've been in yoga classes in the past, you may have heard this instruction to keep your opposite shoulder pressing down. Don't worry about that. Just be nice and open, your arms extended, your heart lifting, collarbones spreading. Turn your head if you'd like to. And bringing your knees back up to upright, feet stay on the floor or return to the floor. And even out your hips again. So we're going to begin to cool it down with a little flowing movement that can be nice for the backs of the legs, especially. Start with your knees bent. They're about hips distance apart. If anyone has a block and wants to do this with a block between your thighs, that will add a little inner thigh oomph, pressing that block inward. Inhale, lift. This is an exhale, sorry. Lift the feet up off the earth. Hold on behind your thighs and draw in towards your chest. Breathe. We're going to take it very slowly so you get the pattern, and then we'll repeat with a little more pace. Lengthening the legs, lifting the arms back to frame the ears, or keep your hands behind your thighs, but legs are long. Bending knees again, thighs towards chest. It's kind of home base. And returning, feet come back down to the floor. And let's do it a few more times with your breath. Restoring the inhale and the exhale from your grounded position first. And then lifting feet up off the floor, thighs come in towards chest. Lengthen the legs, frame your ears with your arms if you choose to. And bend the knees, thighs towards chest. Come on back, feet to the earth. We're going to add on to that pattern, and I'll describe when we get to that point. Lifting your feet up off the earth, thighs towards chest. Lengthen your legs. You can frame your ears with your arms or not. Bend your knees. Straighten the legs again. This time you're holding on behind your thighs and you're going wide into a V position with your legs. And zip them back together. Bend the knees. Bring your feet back down to the earth. Let's do that 2 more times, once with my voice and once without. Bringing your feet up off the earth, thighs to chest. Lengthen legs. Right now they're together. Bend the knees, draw in. Lengthen the legs, holding on here, go wide into the V shape. Zip them together into the L shape. Let's do that again, going wide. And zipping them together. Bending knees. Replacing soles of the feet to the earth. Last time, doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. Do it on your own as best you can. Just find some flow. And nice. I see all kinds of variations. That's great. Coming back to a more rested position, soles of the feet on the floor, knees are bent. Let's just finish up with bridge pose. So for our bridge pose, arms alongside the body, just the arms. Inhaling, lift the arms up and back to frame the ears. And exhale, release them down alongside your body. And just do that a few times, arms only initially. And the next time you inhale and lift the arms, lift the hips, just give them that little lift as the arms lift. And hips and arms come down at the same time. Inhaling, little lift of the hips and the arms. Exhaling, release. Hips and arms down. This is a nice place to use the block, by the way, if you have one. Don't want those knees winging out to the side, which I see a little bit happening with a few of you. And release down. And let's do that one more time at your own pace. So Jennifer, oh, sorry, my mistake. I thought that was your feet. Sorry, my mistake. It's your hands. And slowing it down, coming to stillness, resting your hips and your arms on the earth. If you'd like to take a held bridge pose, you can lift just your hips and pause with that lift. If you happen to have that block, squeezing the block between your thighs or squeezing an imaginary block. Arms alongside the body. If it feels okay to turn your palms facing up, that gives a nice rotation in the shoulders. You can see how that feels. You can snuggle one shoulder blade and then the other a little more securely under you towards the midline. Come down at any time or hold for a few more breaths here. And if you haven't already, do please restore your hips to the earth. And now situate yourselves for relaxation. It's nice to have a blanket under your knees, or you can put your calves up on a chair. Yes, I see Patty situating herself that way. This is really nice if you're feeling any kind of stiffness in your low back. Allow the arms to be alongside the body with the palms facing up. It's not like when we're in Edgemont and our space is a little tight, so you want those arms to be away from the hips. You don't have to worry about intruding on anybody else's space. Arms at least 6 to 8 inches away from hips. Feel that openness in the upper body, the spread of the collarbones as the shoulder blades nestle back into the earth. Just as we began, find physical stillness first, getting out any kinks, last stretches, and coming to physical stillness, drawing your attention inward, once again, to rest on that ever-present flow of the breath. Body relaxed. Breath at a natural rhythm. Mind quietly resting on the breath. Please now allow the breathing to grow a little bit deeper, a little more attentive. Bring some movement into your fingers and your toes, ankles and wrists. When you're ready, bending your knees, rolling over to one side of the body and resting there for a few moments. Bring yourself back up to an upright position. Take your time finding your seated mountain pose once again. Drawing hands together at heart center, gently pressing palms and finding that upward lift. Let's close with one Om together, breathing in. One more full inhalation. Feel that expansion of the upper chest, filling with the breath and connection of yoga. Exhaling, namaste. Thank you, everyone. Be back again next Friday. I'll see you then. If anyone has questions about anything,
Thank
feel
you.
free. Thank you, Patty. Feel free to unmute.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jean.
Thank you.
Yeah. Have a great weekend.
Have a good
Be safe,
weekend.
everybody.
A good
Could hear
weekend.
you really well on this network. The volume was very good.
Oh, good. Thank you, Elaine. Okay, good to know.
Hey, Gene. Hey, Gene, this is Joel.
Hey, Joe.
So I'm doing a meditative practice, and in that practice, we're exhaling through our mouth. And I find at times that I'm exhaling through my mouth. In the yoga practice, I know that, I know it's preferable through the nose. Should I just really be conscious in yoga to do it through my nose?
I mean, if it feels, this is a short practice, it's not something you're
Yeah.
doing over and over again. If it feels better to exhale through your mouth, that's fine. Not a big deal. It is usually, as you've heard me say, recommended in yoga for a lot of reasons to exhale through your nose. But if you're doing a meditation where that's feeling useful, for that's fine. You can continue it.
Okay.
Thanks for asking, Joel.
Thank you, Jean.
Thank you, Jean.
Thank you. Have a good
Thank you
weekend,
very much.
everyone.
Be
Stay
well.
safe.
Stay safe.
Stay safe.
It's a good session.
Yeah.
Hope it's good for your back, Barbara.
Oh, I have been doing your exercises 5 times a day, 10 times a day.
Wow.